I want to give you my top 3 big bass lures as it pertains to, not necessarily talking about swim baits or anything like that, big, 7, 8 inch swim baits. We're talking about just lures that give you the opportunity to catch a big bass, but also, you're not taking away the opportunity to catch a 2, 3, 4 pounder as well. So with that being said, let's go over the top 3. The first one, everyone, none of these baits are going to be like, wow, I never thought that, but my favorite 3 are going to be based on the last, say, 18 years of me fishing East Texas, and typically as it pertains to this water period. Number 1, lipless crankbait. A lipless crankbait's awesome because of the rattles that draw the fish's attention to them when the fish are a little bit more aggressive and when they're not aggressive. That seems kind of contradictory, but when they're not aggressive, this is one of the best at pulling a reaction strike. Lipless crankbait like a Strike King red eye shad or a tungsten 2-tap. That's a tungsten 2-tap. It's kind of a knocking style bait. And when it comes to colors, I'm just keeping it simple. These 2 have produced for me just about any time, which is a gold blackback and a crawfish, a red crawfish pattern. Those 2 are probably my 2 most tied on this time of year. And then the third one, or the second bait, is a jig. Everybody knows jig's a big fish bait, whether you fish tournaments or you're just a big bass fisherman or you just fish for fun, whatever it is, big fish like jigs. And I think it's just because the overall profile, the bulk of the skirt, those types of things really get you a better than average size fish, especially in comparison to plastic. And why I compare it to plastic is just because those are bottom bouncing type baits. As a whole, you can swim a jig, but as we're talking about a jig specifically, bottom bouncing baits, fish that are on the bottom. And this is great because you get the lipless crankbait that you can fish low and slow, but you also can fish it up higher in the water column. The jig, as it is, really throwing it out, pitching it out, skipping it out, whatever it is, letting it fall vertically down to the bottom, fishing it along the bottom. Black and blue, green pumpkin, typically with the water's clear. If the day is brighter, I want the green pumpkin because that's just a more natural color. The fish can get a better look at it. If it's overcast or there's wind or different things like that that cut on the light penetration into the water, black and blue. As far as trailers go, I like a Strike King rodent, and I'll pinch off the first 2 segments and then thread it up onto the body, just like that. And I love the Strike King rodent or some sort of chunk. And the reason why I think the rodent does a great job is because those appendages are much like any other jig chunk that you're going to put on. But you got a little bit more appendages, and then you got the full bodiness of it. But I love the flapper type presentation just because, as opposed to like a rage craw or something that's really swimming and kicking, it just matches the overall temperament of, say, bait fish and everything in the water this time of year, because the water's cold, everything's cold-blooded, things don't move all that aggressively as far as just kicking and flapping. So that chunk or that rodent just kind of has a slow fall. It's waving in the water. It's got a nice subtle action. Fish it low and slow. I pitch it around hard targets like wood, timber, docks, rocks, but also around rock piles, but also around vertical transitions, say areas where the creek channel swings in, or fishing around creek channels with flooded timber, root balls, and different things like that. The last one, this guy's really kind of been sidelined after the last few years with bladed jigs and swim baits on jig heads, but a spinnerbait is still really a big bass producer. These 3 baits are going to be baits that you're still going to have the opportunity to catch a 1 and 2 pounder, but day in, day out, this period, this pre-spawn period, the red eye shad, the lipless style crankbait, the hack attack, the Strike King hack attack jig, a spinnerbait like a Strike King Premier Pro model, white and chartreuse, or chartreuse when it's really, when the water's pretty dirty. And this guy really works well in that more dirtier water. I feel like that the spinnerbait blades thumping and undulating under the water, the skirt just kicking and flashing and flaring and billowing out. This guy really catches them, really seems to do really well when there's more stain in the water. Generally you want to shy away from cold muddy water, but the spinnerbait seems to do well with that. I like to put a trailer on my spinnerbaits. This is a little swim bait. It's a Strike King swim and shiner on the back. You can put whatever you like, a twin tail trailer, whatever it is, but just some sort of swimming type action to just give it a little bit more lifelike action. I can fish this guy super versatile. I can fish this guy high in the water column if it's stained or overcast or windy, or I can reel it slow and low on the bottom. The blade's thumping and flashing, definitely gets the fish's attention. And it's just, these are just baits that, I mean, everybody throws, and if you're bass fishing for any length of time, you have one of these in your box. And what I've noticed over the course of, say, the last 18 years of living in East Texas, these baits catch, they have an opportunity to put you in touch with a bigger bass all the while you're still in play for catching, you know, your average size fish. So when you're out there, think about these for particularly putting yourself in an opportunity and a place to catch, you know, that better than average size fish. These guys, for whatever reason, make it happen day in, day out. So next time you're out there, think about tying these on. No matter where you are in the country, these 3 baits will catch some big bass for you.